Hi, my name is Tanya. This is the analysis for Symphony 104 by Haydn, London. Um, so, one of the first things I have to do about this symphony is that it's supposed to be in D minor, but we don't realize of that like until the third measure when we finally see an alteration, which is the C sharp. Because other than that, he doesn't use a third. So he's like trying to give an idea, like a fake idea that it could be major. For the person who is only listening, that could be pretty confusing. They couldn't know. Of course, it's different if you have the music shape. Also, another characteristic of this is like it is like a fanfaria because it starts with super forte, double forte, right, fortissimo, and then it goes to the pianissimo on the violins, expressing a very tender melody. There is a difference in the original score and the first written score and the current score, because the original score was written like for trombas and cornos at the top, right? And I guess my opinion about that is that since at that time the trumpets didn't have any valves, what they did was to use instruments in D, in the key of D. And another thing I have to say is that, this is a typical, the phrases in this symphony are very typical of the classical period. They are very square. They are 8 bar phrases divided like in groups of two, in semi groups of two. It's like mathematical, like it could be in any piece of the classical period. Haydn uses a lot of chromatism especially on the development section. I could say, if I could say on the first movement, I could say that it is pretty unstable. This section, it's so unstable that being in D minor goes to the C sharp minor key, and like every two measures he could go from G to G to G sharp, ending a phrase on E minor. Also, another characteristic of this symphony is that it doesn't have a first and second different themes like in most symphonies. This symphony is monothematic, and what he does is he plays the first theme on D minor, and then he plays the second on A major, and what he uses to simulate a different theme is that he tries to cut or to make a little variation of the theme on the second part. Pretty interesting. Also, in my opinion, in the new score, the one that we have nowadays, this symphony is played by oboes and flutes because it's easier to tune for these instruments. One characteristic that Haydn shared with his previous symphonies, like in the Six and others, is that he uses the fast sonata form movement first, right? Then he has the slow movement, and then he has the minuet and trio, and then a fast finale, which is something typical of the classical area too. Something new that he uses on Symphony 104 is the use of the clarinet, because it was a brand new instrument, and he uses this instrument in his last five symphonies. Something else that I would like to say is that it's interesting how he uses the theme. He could use it like in eighth, no, in half notes, and then he reduces the theme to quarter notes. So in fugue, this could be called rhythmic diminution, and he uses this in his themes, like to make a little variation. He also uses a lot of contrapuntal and in the melodies between the violins and the oboe. And something interesting, and I don't know if he didn't like the timpani very much, but he just gives the beginning to the timpani, like for the effect of the fanfaria. And at least on the first movement, he doesn't use the timpani like until the very end of the first. He also uses in the introduction, I'm talking about the first movement on this one, he uses the Napolitan chord, which results on the fifth degree, right? And I would say that he uses the harmony a lot for the clarinets and trumpets and timpani in this one. And the use of contrapuntal devices makes that his symphonies are more sophisticated. Thank you.